for January 8th, begin with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Nair?
Good morning, happy new year to everyone. It is time for the board reorganization process. I'm going to look for a nomination for president of the board of commissioners for 2025.
I'd like to nominate Chad Blessinger.
Any further nominations?
I'll second that.
Hearing none, we have a motion then for Chad Blessinger, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Need a candidate for vice president, seek a nomination for the vice president for the 2025 term.
Commissioner Hostetter, is that you this year?
I would happily do that.
Okay, I'll nominate Commissioner Hostetter.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very well. Your slate of officers for 2025.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see here. So let's do the payroll since we have that. Any changes to the payroll?
No.
I'll move that we approve the payroll as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We had the minutes from the December 16th, 2024 meeting. Anybody have any changes, modifications to that?
No.
I'll move that we approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We have the county treasurer's monthly report. Anybody have any issues with that? Has everybody seen it?
Seen it.
We'll make note that you all reviewed that. I'm still looking through the claims, so we'll come back and do that one a little bit later. So highway reports, please.
Thank you, Don.
Okay, first of all, the big site attendance. We have, there's three of them, Ireland, Huntingburg, and Jasper. They have no time with the trash and the recycling coming in. They don't have no time to go out and sort through the bins as far as people put plastic and metal in the plastic and sort like that. And when there's debris, when they get it mixed up, they will trash it and we won't get paid for it. So these guys are supposed to go out in between whenever they have time, go out and try to sort through it and make sure that everybody's doing it right. Well, they don't have time because it's so busy now. I mean, it's crazy. They'll sell like 600 tickets a day. So some of them will. But anyway, and then plus the recycling. So they was wanting maybe if we could get somebody down there to help them out part-time. But we made the suggestion to try give them an extra 15 minutes. Right now we're giving them 8.25 hours, just those three sites. If we can give them 8.5 hours, that way they have time to go at the end of the day, whenever they shut the gates, go back through and start through the bins, the recycling bins. So we was wondering if we can up that to from 8.25 to 8.5 hours, just for those three big sites. So.
For how long? I mean, indefinitely or?
Probably for indefinitely, yeah. Because it's, like I said, every time we go there, it's just, there's constantly people coming in and out. Do what?
Is that going to create overtime or?
No, they just, I forget what it is. I think they work 4 days, 3 days one week and 4 days the next week, I think it is.
Okay.
Or something like that. So absolutely no overtime, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, and with them selling tickets in there, they're afraid to walk out and get anybody, because then people will be coming in and they'll have to go back over again and just constantly back and forth. And it's just hard to do. then you get, then if they're waiting, then people are lined up on the road and because we have no big places to park for everybody, so we don't want to back them up too long. Back them up very
I understand the
long.
part
and get-
about doing behind closed doors, work behind closed doors, I definitely understand that. Because,
So,
and lots of that, so.
and they are responsible for all their ticket money and everything else, so they don't want to be away from it too long, and somebody standing up there, they can
Sure.
just, so I understand their point, but, so that's what we're bringing out instead of just a part-time guy down there helping them go through the trash, just give them an extra 15 minutes at the end of the day and still, if they do have any time through the day, they will go out, but
Sure, to do what they need to do.
at
Have you
least at
talked
the
to
end
them
of the day,
about it?
it would help them out a lot.
Have you talked to them about it?
I believe Michaela had talked to them and they said, yes, they will try that first if they could, but
Okay,
so.
I don't have a problem with doing it, it just doesn't seem like it's gonna, at the end of the day, 15 minutes doesn't do you any good, because then you got full bins. They're not gonna take everything out of the bins and dig through them,
No,
because with those, you've got 30 square feet that you can see, right, whatever.
right,
Uh,
yeah,
you go into the beginning of the day and it's empty, you're not gonna be able to see
right,
90% of what's in there, so I don't know if I don't mind giving you the 15 minutes if you think that that's gonna do something, but it sure doesn't seem
the
like it's.
15 minutes or the 30 minutes?
15,
You want to do?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
See what I mean?
Quarter now,
Once the barrel
so,
fills up, you're not gonna see the bottom of the barrel.
right,
Hopefully
but,
through the day.
but like I said, hopefully through the day, they'll get a chance every once in a while to go out
Some of
there.
that.
But a lot of times some of them miss their containers and everything else, so at least they'll have a chance to go out and pick up the trash around the containers if there is any, plus look in the holes and or look in the bins and try to, if there is anything down there that they miss, so just give them a little extra time.
I know at Jasper, they'll come out with the pinchers and grab stuff out and move it and trash it and move it to the right spot.
Yeah.
Periodically.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit of a risk leaving the room, I guess they lock it when they go out, but still.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you'd hope so, but, I'll give you a chance on this. If you think this will help, it doesn't bother me,
Try it.
but I don't, it seems like it may not be, we'll see.
I think it's worth a shot.
Try
As far
to
as,
see.
as long as there's a budget there, stay within your budget.
Okay.
Good.
yeah, I believe Michaela already talked to Ann and she said that you definitely have plenty of room, so.
Okay.
So, okay,
So,
All right,
yeah,
see.
how about this vote gets in the record, I'll say, I'll make a motion that we approve the request to add up to an additional, 1/4 hour to the 3 site attendants from, what is it, Ireland, Jasper, Furman?
yes, Ireland, Jasper, Huntingburg.
Ireland, Jasper, Huntingburg.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Add up to 15 minutes per day per shift for those site attendants.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
All right, thank you all. Second thing is the score sheet for the gravel road conversion reevaluation. I will go through those this month and reevaluate them and, if there's any points that had changed, I'll let you all know. But I'm sure unless there's a bunch of houses being built or whatever, but it'll probably stay the same, so. And then,
These are just
third,
just for the record, again, these are for the people that have made a request to have their road upgraded from gravel to, or from dirt or gravel to a next
chip and
level.
seal, yes, yep,
And once they do that, again, for the record, and to remind me, the people put in a request, everybody that puts in a request gets put in line. We grade each of those requests based on the amount of traffic, condition of the road, what other kind of thing.
how many houses, how many parcels, or how many people own land on that road.
Termination
Termination.
points, is it meted to an existing gravel road, is it meted to a paved road, is it meted to a state highway,
Yeah.
what is it meeting to?
And this is another situation where we would have to have right of way
Yes,
on each side of the road, so people would have to be agreeable to that.
They don't get scored until they have the right of way.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
from every parcel.
These residents could choose to throw in additional dollars to
If they,
offset cost.
if they do, Then there's a point system for that also. If they throw in a certain percentage, it'll go up so many points. If it, So, yeah, but I don't think any of them did on the ones that we have right now, so.
Yeah, but in the past, we've had some people that pay for the rock and we do the labor, and some people.
Yeah.
Like
I
as
just
far-
wanted to mention it just because, I mean, if somebody's scoring number 2 and they want to get done this year.
Yeah.
That would be an opportunity for them to, go to their neighbors and pitch in and
Yeah.
hopefully bump their score up.
We had one last year, Ann Mariner.
Mhm.
She paid, and we did our old road last year. She paid for every bit of it, so. Yep.
Sounds good, thank you.
Alrighty, the third one, is snow removal. Of course, we worked a lot of hours on Sunday and Monday. And then on Tuesday, last night, we ended up staying another, some of them stayed an hour and a half later, some of them stayed 2, some of them stayed 3 hours later. I told them, I said, be productive. If it's coming up, stay out. I mean, it was a little warmer yesterday. It was gonna be the last day for at least till the weekend where it was warm and where it was gonna come up. So we said, if you can get it up, stay out and get it up. As long as you feel comfortable, as long as you feel, don't have a wreck, don't have an accident. And if you're being productive and safe,
Absolutely.
keep working. So, but, and of course, after dark, it started to bond again and we couldn't get any more off after that. But, so the graders is our main thing right now. The graders can get it off versus the snow plows. So, we had several compliments, and of course we still had some complaints. I don't know if you guys are hearing, but we had several phone calls saying that, I believe you got one on Monday saying that they plowed our driveway shut. We can't do nothing about that. We can't back and clear off there where we put snow in our driveway. We can't do that. I mean, if we do, it would take us, I called a lady this morning, I said, we got 600 and some miles out there that we're trying to clean snow off of. I said, we cannot take care of everybody's driveway. I said, we will never get done. I mean, there'll be slick roads out there for days and more accidents and everything else, so.
You tell them city does the same thing.
Do it.
City does the same thing.
Yeah, city and so does the state.
So,
I mean, yeah, so,
had a nice big pile at the end of my drive.
We've been spoiled for so long because we haven't had a heavy
right.
snow like this in so
Well, it's
long.
been a while.
So
It's been a while.
usually when we plow the roads, it doesn't leave much in the driveway. This one did.
And it just wasn't snow, a lot of ice. On behalf of the commissioners, thank you both very much. Thank the guys for us. You guys did a great job.
Alrighty, I'll tell.
Much appreciated.
That's all I got.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you,
We did
sir.
get several calls yesterday about the site's not being open. When are they gonna be open? Tomorrow? No, they're not open on the
Yeah, it's,
weekend.
but it was,
So they'll be busy Thursday.
They'll be busy.
they probably could have actually opened up yesterday afternoon, but we already had it canceled, so. And plus, a lot of the trash is full anyway because there was no place to go with it. It was closed, but now they're open, so we're ready to go, so.
That's great.
We cleaned off all the, went around and cleaned off all the steps and everything for the site attendants, so, a lot of them's older, I mean, and they can't.
Understand.
Me and Jeremy went around and did all that yesterday and solved some what we could, and they should be ready to go.
Look in there, I need those. First,
We're ready to rock now.
So, are you ready?
We right here in December. That's the one thing about that last meeting.
No backside, don't worry. It's full, but no backside.
They did. sheet that's the
Center. So you want to just copy it or you copy this out, scan it to me?
Good morning.
Okay, I gave you guys the summary activity sheet that Steve usually makes you every year. So between Christmas and New Year, he had nothing else going on, so he went ahead and made one last one. That's the report showing all the money we spent and where it all went. We're going to continue to do that. I want to make sure you guys know that because I think it's very valuable. It lets you guys know what townships, what roads were paved, where we patched. Just gives you guys a little bit, black and white copy of what's going on. Like I said, we will continue to do that. It may look a little different next year. There's some things that I want to change because my personal preference, nothing against Steve.
Sure.
But there are some things, but it's a very valuable book for you guys.
Are there any highlights, anything you want to share with us, or just for a review?
Just for your review. I mean, I can go through it all, but if you guys really want to, we can, but it'll be here for a little while.
So just for the year in review part, can you give an idea of what total spend the county highway department had? Looks like, I think that's just something the public may be interested in. So it looks like hot mix dollars, 2.7 million.
Yeah, I have my book. I left mine at home. Or at the office.
So I use mine.
I can.
So really, or just these bottom lines in the first
Yeah,
couple pages.
so as far as hot mix dollars went down, 2.7, well, just straight for your $2.8 million spent in hot mix alone. We had 1.1 million in community crossings. Distress Road was at $1 million interest rate loan. And then out of NVH and local road street, we spent $740,000. So we did well there. We did some ceiling projects at Rejuve for $273,000. Then the chip seal overlays in the amount of $340,000 for a grand total of $304,000 spent on our existing hot mix asphalt roadways. So a significant amount of money. These roads are not cheap to maintain. A lot of money goes into these things. As far as chip seal paving, we did $117,000 in converting from chip seal or from rock to chip seal. So a significant amount of money there as well for 2.5 miles of road. Then we also rehab and patching of existing chip seal roads. That's another big one that we do for $885,000. We worked on 2 major bridges for $253,000. And then we did random other safety improvement projects for $40,000 and culvert replacements for $600,000. So a lot of money flows through the highway departments. A lot of money. So that's on that. Safety action plan. So the plan is completed. I sent you guys the plan back in December. A link to the plan. It is 200 some odd pages long. I can print it out if I need to, but I figured you guys could send it, look through it via email. If it is acceptable, I would like to get it approved and accepted and get signatures, and then we will get that included in the plan. And we will get that on the county's website for the public to view. And then also make us eligible for implementation grants to get some of this stuff into work. Federal Highway still got to have a call in July that we can apply for if we get this approved.
So you've reviewed the whole thing, you're satisfied with it?
Yep.
I think I read about 80 pages of it, scanned through the rest of it, there's a lot there.
There's a lot there.
It seemed okay to me. Anybody else on the board have a comment?
I didn't read that many pages, but
There's a lot of graphs that gives you a good bearing of what's going on, and then there's some pictures that show of plans that we want to do. So there was, if you didn't want to read them in new detail, there's some graphs to go off of. So I feel comfortable saying, please approve it. I recommend it. So,
I'll move that we approve the DuBois County Safety Action Plan as it's been presented.
also,
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
okay. Sam Sarah, the vehicle tracking units. We have that, Greg has went through, you're good with that, guys? Yes. Right? So I have that, we reviewed it, it's acceptable. We actually had a meeting with them concerning some of our comments, and for the most part, I think they changed everything.
Everything we had asked for, and then some of the stuff because of their location in the public sector as opposed to private sector, they changed some of our standard terms. But I was okay with what we discussed and then what they put into writing for us. So Brett and I both reviewed it and had at least one video meeting with them.
Yeah.
Couple phone calls.
Yeah. If it's acceptable to you guys, then I'm gonna get Verizon a letter to inform them that we'll be terminating our contract. We'll get them their response back.
I sent you that.
Yes, yes, okay, I need to like that.
So none of these figures have changed since we reviewed it last time?
Correct.
So all you're looking for from us today is just a consent to proceed?
Yeah, and then a signature from you.
Anybody have any problems with that?
So what do we have to do as far as Verizon? Just-
I'm gonna send them a termination letter, because based on the contract we have currently with them,
Right.
we're on a month-by-month basis of paying.
Month by month, okay,
So,
that was my
We're
question.
going to terminate that contract, we'll send them a letter,
Okay,
then we'll get all our units pulled out and get
just
shipped
wanted
back
to
to
make
us.
sure that we were not in a year's contract or
No,
something.
no,
so we're
we've
good.
already fulfilled that contract.
We fulfilled the original term and then there was no discussion in that agreement what would happen next. My interpretation of those scenarios is that it becomes a month to month.
Okay, just wanted to make
Because
sure.
it didn't say otherwise.
Okay,
Pay as you go.
all right, thank you.
I'll need a motion for that, I want to do that. Sandy, I'll see you board.
All right, I'll move that we approve signing the Centra contract.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
The motion is to send Sarah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you said consent earlier.
Sandy needs to sign it.
So you'll send these.
Yeah, I'll send you that. Correct. Actually, if you want one of them, because I've got two identical copies, so you can have one.
Okay, just have one,
And I'll scan one, send it back to them, and we'll keep that one.
and then you'll give me the the final.
Yeah.
Is this one signed or, this is signed?
Okay, next on the list, 2025-01, community crossing projects. So the 2501 is, the application already, that it is open. We'll be applying to repave the following roads. Schnellville Road from 162, right here at the Highway Department, to Santine Road. Old Petersburg from 56 to the county line. Two Boys Cusco from 850 east to Cusco Road South. Old Road 45 from 231 south to 600 north. And then 600 north from 200 west to Old 45. 490 west from 150 to Stewart. 580 north from 700 west to 800 west. 400 south from Patoka Road to 50 east. 50 east from 400 south to State Road 64. Rustic Acres, which is from Schnellville to the dead end, and then 1200 south from US 231 to 500 west. That gives us a total estimated cost of $2,039,302.33. The county would be on the hook for $539,302.33, which is over the 25% match, but they cap us at $2 million, so we have to cover the rest. So we're covering an extra $39,000. Grand scheme of things, that's a pretty good bang for the buck.
Are they still gonna have full funding this year?
As of right now, they are. The applications are open, so
And if they say, if they cut us, then we have to decide if we want to continue.
It said they only give us for 5 of the 11 roads, well, then we'll go back and look. But as of right now, it's fully funded.
Yeah, there's been some discussion at the State House that it doesn't, they don't sound as confident with the full amount.
Right, that's correct.
How can you put things that are-
That's what our association is saying. So, what I'm looking for is make sure you guys are consensus that we're good, and then get Chad's approval that we will financially committed to the projects. We are going to try to match. I'm going to go to the council and request that they can help give us the match to help free up some of our budget, but then also, if they can't, budgetary wise, we look through the numbers, we can forward it in-house, pay out of MVH. So.
And, Donnie, have you had experience over the years of doing the pacer and the gradings of all the roads, giving them grades? Have you had experience doing that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've been there for 9.5 years, and yes, as far as what roads are cracking up was, Alligator and stuff like that, yes.
So are these selections based on the work from last year,
Yes.
the grade?
Last fall.
Okay. Anything you're gonna change, or is there anything that would be, or who would primarily be the person?
We're still gonna team up on it, same as Steve and I did. Donnie we're gonna sign, we'll wait till this all gets through, but we're gonna sign Donnie up for an LTAC course for pacer training, so he'll be certified as well. I am certified, Tim Lynch is certified, we'll get Donnie certified as well, so we're all looking at the same thing.
Excellent. Okay, well, I'm fine with the list. Does anybody else have any questions or comments on the list?
No.
Okay, I'll move that we approve the repaving list that's been presented here for the community crossings matching grant, and that we sign this document.
Second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay. County bridge rehabilitation projects. So there are 2 projects in the county that I'd like to get the decks rehabbed. They're cracking, popping, salt's getting down into them, and there's actually rebar showing in a few spots. So my request is to go before the council to get money appropriated for the project in the amount of $200,000. That's for both bridges, so $100,000 a piece. I have a quote from a contractor. I didn't know how much it was going to be, so I asked him to give me a budgetary quote, and it was in the amount of $70,000, $71,500 to be precise, for both of them. I went ahead with $200,000 because the price of everything was going to go up some. Make sure that you guys are okay with it, then I will get the money appropriated via the council for these projects, and I will design and bid these in-house because these are pretty straightforward type projects. There would be a hydro demolition, then a latex modified concrete, laid over the top of them, then we'll pave approaches away from for the smooth ride. These are fairly simple projects.
Where are the bridges?
On St. Anthony Road West and on St. Anthony Road North. They're both over Hall Creek, just off of Schnellville Road. Go south of Schnellville Road on both the roads, probably one's about a half a mile, one's a quarter mile.
And so to appropriate the money, you'll take it out of the bridge fund? Or
Yes, correct.
And anybody have any problems with that? I'll move that we approve, or we give Brent consent to move forward to the county council to ask for the funds for those 2 bridge projects. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. And it's 8:30, so we need to do it.
Oh, yeah.
So let's do that, and come back for your final item.
Now, I just want to say, I did print those off from email, but I never looked at them.
So Greg, what was the request? We had a digital requirement and a paper requirement, didn't we both?
That's correct.
So if they didn't send one, if they didn't get the paper in, then what? They would not be a valid bid, is that right?
Then it would have been responsive. I'd have to look at the RFP again to make sure that that's the way it was written. But I believe that it was. So this is a proposal bid opening for sent a request for proposals out for the courthouse temperature control system. Those are due today. We have a proposal, first one I'm opening here is from Maximum Mechanical.
So they were actually due what, Monday, but then does the date get extended because we're closed, or how does that work?
I believe it got extended enough to stay on Monday's date for. They have Mesmer Mechanical has a price in the amount of $257,236. It's 257,236.
Hold on, this is on.
Second proposal is from Mariner Plumbing and Heating. Their amount is $342,800, 342,800.
It's from, which one did you say?
That was from Mariner. This was received electronically. Again, we'll verify what the RFP called for, but this is from Johnson Controls Incorporated out of Louisville. And their price is in the amount of $555,400, $555,400. So those are the three. I would suggest that we take them under advisement. Get an opportunity for Mr. Oath to review them as well. Make sure things are in order, and then potentially have a determination at our next meeting.
Okay. So, Sandy, is that on the next agenda? 5 minutes?
For the computer board?
Yes. So today, just to be clear, I was paying attention to something else at the same time. You're gonna verify which bids are allowable.
Correct.
And then we'll take the low bid from there.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Anybody have anything else? Thank you. Do your final, comment? So, Mr. Schneider, we may not have the funds available at the next meeting, so we probably can't award it at the next meeting, but we can at least hold them for the federal meeting.
Because it's January.
Last thing on the list, County Bridge Rehab Project, Bridge number 78. the money for the design phase of this project was approved by the council. So I'm requesting permission to get a consultant on board to begin. I have been in discussions with American Structure Point, who is our current bridge inspection consultant. They gave us a proposal, that's where I got the feed from. Just wanted to verify that you guys are okay with us moving forward with them.
78, the one we talked about last meeting?
Yeah. A few meetings,
Or a couple meetings ago.
yeah, in a minute, but yes.
They had what was their fee? $100,000 somewhere in there.
It was just under 100. I
Are you
can
still
find it.
comfortable with that?
I am.
I mean, you're gonna still,
I would prefer to move forward with him, 93,000, the lump sum of 93,000. So I would prefer if I could, but again, that's your guys' call.
the money for the design phase of the project was approved by the council, so yes, we've kind of said okay with it.
We got-
Basically,
Yeah.
and now you have funds to do it. Anybody on the board have any changes or want to stop this or have him look for other consultants or anything?
No, good.
Okay, I think you have our consent to
That's
proceed.
fine. And I will move forward, getting that contract going with them, make sure that they're all discussed with them. I'll get at the next meeting. I will have a contract with you for that, and we'll move forward. That's all I have. You guys have anything for me?
Yep.
Okay.
We're a few minutes early, but if Mr. Madden wants to discuss his corrections officer, start that.
Good morning.
Or-
Wyatt Madden, Director over at Community Corrections. Here today to request 2 new officer positions for night shift. We took a look at the staffing back for 2023 and 2024 and found out that almost a third of our night shift positions the past 2 years have been covered by somebody other than a night shift officer. That's mainly due to staff turnover, staff training, new hires. When we only have 2 officers on night shift, if somebody on night shift quits, we can't stick a new officer with just one other officer to run the control room and the floor. So we have to either move a mid shifter or a day shifter to night shift for anywhere from 30 to probably 90 days. And that's the reason why that percentage is so high. Having 3 officers per shift would ensure coverage for PTO and call-ins, as well as staff training. We're required by the state to have 40 hours of professional development for each staff member. So having the ability to have night shift officers participate in those trainings as well and not have to have coverage from day shift would be very beneficial. As far as funding, I spoke with some of the members of the council. We do see an R tax is an option, and I believe the opioid money was discussed last month as a potential. Is that correct?
That would be kind of a one-time shot, but yeah, I think.
Right, for the first year,
First year, that would.
just a smaller portion of the first year.
Anything else?
No, I don't believe so. I know we spoke about it last month, so just bringing it up again. If you guys have any questions.
When we talked about it last month, I felt really knowledgeable and up to date on it, but now a lot has happened since then, so I'm just trying to get my mind back on it. Did you guys have some questions or comments?
How many's on the night shift staff now?
2 per shift.
2 per shift.
Mhm.
There are 2 shifts,
Just 2 shifts, yes.
so there's 4.
Okay, so there's, 2
Well,
shifts.
4 night shift officers, and there's 2 per shift.
Shift.
And there's a,
So there's a rotating schedule, so,
Right.
2 officers would work 2 nights, and And it's it's set up exactly like the jail.
Then you have a mid person.
Yep.
So what's happened so far, or somewhat recently, has been that what do you call it, mid shifter?
Yep.
That
Usually
person,
8 to 8:99 p.m.
that person has not been able to do that shift all the time because they'll have to cover for the night shift person.
Well, I mean, this has been an ongoing issue for years. We requested this about 2.5 years ago, and we got 2 positions. It's worked out, but obviously, with a 33%, shortage on night shift because of staff turnover or training or what have you, we still have that need on night shift to have proper coverage. It's tough for the officers, especially day shift or night shift, whenever they're hired in for those shifts. And Monday and Tuesday, they maybe work a night shift or a day shift, and then here comes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there's a call in or there's something that happens, and now they got to work night shift, and then the following week they got to work day shift again. So it's tough on the staff as well.
There's no way.
No.
So I think, when was it, back in November or October, we met with you.
Mhm.
Mr. Fleesner and I met with him, and I think I won't speak for Mr. Fleesner, I'll speak for myself. I think I became comfortable with it because this has been something they've been asking about for years. We tried it with one, tried a mid-shift, try all these things, and I think this will be the final component to get them where they need to be. I think we even had the discussion, if the
Population.
was to go to 110, this still takes care of everything.
Absolutely.
So, it kind of future proofs us. Earlier, the bad thing is that, earlier we're talking about how the number of employees we have has gone up, the number of, the amount of wages every amount has gone up, but we do have funding sources to pay for this kind of thing if we use them. I trust that Mr. Madden isn't bringing people on so they sit around and not do anything. There's a reason for them to be there. It's a little different situation than the jail in that, for a number of reasons, but they still have some of the similar issues. If someone gets hurt, there's no one to help those people. I think that's one of the reasons it started back in September. You had a situation where you had one person on staff and somebody got hurt, and it made it where there was no way to deal with the situation properly.
That's always a risk factor in corrections. If you have an officer doing a walk and something occurs where that officer needs help, you can't leave the control room unattended. That has to be manned 24/7. So, if they had 3 per shift, it would take care of that. Hopefully that never happens, but it's always a risk in this line of work.
Sure.
If you had 2 people on shift, one person's in the control room, one person's doing walkthroughs, and they get in a scuffle with somebody, when that person's having a bad day, no one to go in and back them up. You gotta call the sheriff
Right.
or somebody to come, and they're pretty close, but you never know what that would be like.
And then it seems like a lifetime in that situation.
I think pending county council approval of the funds from a couple of the sources that maybe you've mentioned or something else that they never had to find it to proceed with this. The only thing, I guess I would put it this way, that if they're approved, then the PTO time just has to be gone. I mean, you've got a lot of people sitting with PTO time and things that has been needed because of the situation, that this should alleviate that over the next 6 months. Hopefully we can have people cover, get rid of use that time. So do you agree, or am I out of line there?
No, I agree.
So, we just want to get that, because that's a liability for the county to have those hours sitting there. So that would be,
And you're saying use opioid settlement or lit CR tax?
those are a couple things that we've talked about, but that's not really our call as a commissioner, but those would be a couple things that we have talked about previously.
Mhm.
Commissioner Hostetter, do you have any thoughts?
I'll just vacate all these added new positions, but that's one of the requirements of the job. If you need them, and I hate to tell you no, when I've told others yes.
Even previous directors before me, we've tried the state grants and they just will not fund officer positions. New officer positions.
It's probably been 8 years that I've paid attention to their grant applications. They put them on there every year, and they don't get them every year.
Mhm.
Oh, have we ever gotten one in 8 years?
Not that I know of, no new positions. No.
I mean, we've gotten funds for other things, but
The
never
last
for
one I
this.
remember is the 1006 one. That was a long time ago.
Just the funding for community corrections is at a standstill the past 10 years. Like you said, salaries have increased, the cost of operating has increased, so
But the amount of dollars.
the amount of dollars, for community corrections from the state has remained the same about the past 10 years, so.
I'm with you. I don't necessarily care for adding new positions, but we have a correctional rehabilitation, tax that's in place. It's paying for the jail, it's paying for these services, and I think this is, council, that'd be the first place I'd look, but again, that's not my call.
I want you to be able to run your department to the best of your ability, and if we're handcuffing you with not other people, that's not good either, so.
And a secondary benefit is he won't be back to ask again.
We want everyone to be safe. I mean, that's very important. You're off.
You can't say that.
We would hope this would take care of the problem in a nicer way of saying it. I'm sorry, Cerise.
No, that's okay. I was just telling him that, we want the officers to be safe, and so I do approve.
Thank you.
So I guess we'll have to have a vote on it, or we can hold off for another 2 weeks if you get. All right, pending, I'll move the pending county council approval that we create the 2 night officer positions for the West County Community Corrections.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Give us your question.
Then we'll,
Hold on, you gotta set the wage and all that. It would be a Sequel 3.
All right, you're voting.
I'd say we'll set it to match the other existing positions.
That's what I have here. An officer Sequel 3.
The third or fourth? This one, right, not the 1, 2, 3, 4. What's 2?
Prompt time.
Okay, I'm not, it's not lining up this line.
So 1947 to 2604 is that?
That sounds right, yeah.
The Sequel 3.
Anyway, I always recommend you don't start them at the top, so you get somewhere to grow for people and give them thanks for a job well done if they're doing well.
Yep.
So work with county council next, and then Marky, I guess, and we go from there.
I'm on the agenda for the next council meeting. Okay. I'll reach out. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Before, I was looking at the RFP, we did have until March to make an award on the
Okay.
control system. Looking at our timeline, we had sent out.
Sounds good. So we were supposed to have a drainage board meeting at 9 o'clock today. That is because it wasn't, it was set for Monday. I don't believe in the.
I did not include it in my notice to the BDS that you made, and Kenny.
So did you have to, would you have had to make it a separate announcement?
I just didn't even think about saying drainage board.
The drainage board, we had scheduled it like a year ago.
Right.
And I believe that it would have required an additional notice that it, because it's its own board. Those are the
Separate.
exact same people, the same as many of our other things. I think it would have required a separate notice. So though it may not have been a good, the safe thing to do is just set it into the second meeting in January.
And the Board of Finance, have they set up their meeting for this month?
That was
Yes,
the-
it's the
that was-
next meeting.
That was the next meeting as well already.
They've advertised it. definitely.
That's all done, I mean, I took care of that. Yeah, so Kenny was there when I talked to him, he said, go ahead and make it next meeting, he really has nothing. He didn't think anybody would hear,
Are the reorganization approval of minutes?
so I have that on Thursday.
You two aren't here to talk about the drainage board, are you? And you didn't get the, I didn't think so. Hey, might as well ask.
You didn't get that memo?
So our next item is not till 9:15. We do have several miscellaneous items. So I guess if it's okay with the board, I'd like to review the remaining document pages here. So, and put a 5-minute pause on the meeting, and then we'll come back to it. Is that okay with the board? Okay, thank you. You can just leave it running, or you can turn it off. It doesn't matter. Just leave it running. Yeah.
It's not really bid, that's for proposals, what is that? Proposal open?
So just for the board, one of a couple of things that I was from here was there was a bill on here for $15,000 from one of our departments
I
that
still know how to
I'm
word it.
quite certain that it has a contract involved with it. And these bills are already paid in December, so it's kind of too late to say, don't pay that. But I'm going to request that department, because, we're supposed to review all the contracts before. Except we made an ordinance last year, and the state says that we must approve all the contracts. And they must be the Volusia County, a number of things. So we'll probably have some of those that still departments are doing. Contracts.
Did they send us to the grace?
No, I don't think he sees them either. Right, they won't have our language in them. They're just used to doing things their own way.
We got two different invoices.
It is total $30,000.
One was paid from misdemeanor fund, which is the jail, being correctional care, and the other one was paid from pre-trial.
So-
One says
so
Flock
again-
Yes, and the other one says Flock Falcon.
It's a change in how things have been. Maybe it's just a, let's look at it. But one of the problems too is when we make a contract with how much money of any amount.
I have to load them up on Gateway, I have so much, we're trying to put all contracts on Gateway, I've never gotten those contracts.
So if a department, let's just say, the auditor's department, they have a contract for some program for the auditors, the public, we're required to keep sunlight on that. It has to be uploaded to be in the contract, to make sure we're doing that one. So that's one of the problems. Or I'd say we're gonna tell the department they can't do what they want to do. But we can make sure that the contract's legal and it's available for the public. So that's one of the things that slowed me down on reviewing this.
And you can't do it yourself, can you? Like, they'll try
Sandy, can you remind me, are we completely current in all of our jail construction payments? I know we made some, I thought we made our last one in December. So that's information for the board. We finally, our final contractor, they got us the things that we need. They got it.
See where it goes.
Wish I had a business that, we could have $100,000.
Still in the same house.
Are they still coming back and?
I hate to retire, I don't get to see you.
That's a little,
You
yes.
don't want to be too successful.
I was gonna say, if you can do it, or I gotta give you a cat.
It's just amazing how much we have.
Generally the same.
You got three.
Doesn't look that much
Did
weird.
you ever watch that show? Shark?
I watched.
Right, the, a lot of the square footage is hit.
My 9-year-old likes watching it with me. It's pretty cool. It's really a pretty cool show. It gives those people, a chance.
I like the panelists are all good too.
Yeah.
The judges, the sharks.
Yeah. Fishing's pretty well done for a while. Unless they're getting that ice. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Cool.
Yeah, but if it snows on Friday, it's 2 to 3 inches of snow on top of that ice, but it's slated, it won't freeze Thursday.
Are you asking for different?
Yeah. April's supposed to be down south, like,
I don't want
5, 6 inches. You might get like a dust and 30 inches.
Yeah,
We did say that Sunday night, didn't we?
I volunteered. Must have been late. It seems that you had the date, someone had the date wrong, and then all the people on social media were like, this doesn't make sense, today's wrong. Yeah, well, it happens.
somebody didn't contact right away then.
Some people.
All right,
So
we can
wait till you
come back together here. The next order of business is the claims against the county and the voucher were registered. I'll move that we approve the claims. Any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I don't know where to put this, we got so much.
I know.
Okay, so last meeting, we discussed one of our policies about county vehicle policy on personal use. Mr. Schneider, you reviewed the county handbook, and it says what? Or if I put you on the spot, I've got it saved to.
If you got it saved, I remember I found it that day, I believe that they are not for personal use and that the law enforcement are accepted from that.
County-owned vehicles shall only be used by employees while engaged in county business, shall not be used for personal business purposes.
Correct.
So I guess the next step, in my opinion, would be to ask both of the departments that are exempted, that being the sheriff's department and EMA, if there's a reason that they are accepted if there's a reason they need to continue to be accepted from the policy. I don't want to make a decision without bringing them in. Anybody had any thoughts or feedback on it since our last meeting?
No, I mean, use it for personal businesses. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's just gonna be what they're supposed to be and not to be, so.
So is it okay with the board? I'll talk to each department, see if they have any feedback on it, and then we can potentially change the handbook next time or leave it the way it is if there's a good reason for them being accepted.
I'm assuming it's because they responded from home, but, yeah. I don't know. You know, if there's an emergency response.
So they can take it home, it's just driving them in the house.
Right.
So my issue is with them using it outside of the county. If EMA or the sheriff's department are using it to go to Walmart, I want them to be at Walmart. I think it's a good idea to have vehicles seen around town, even when they're not working. I think it's just good for those practices. What I don't want to do is see it in Louisville, or Bloomington or wherever. Does that make, does the board feel the same way?
I think that
Makes sense.
I don't think the county sheriff's gonna respond to an emergency.
Right.
I mean, it's just a given.
Yeah.
Should be.
Right.
Should be.
Okay. And I don't know where this was exactly. Maybe Mr. Schneider provided, I don't remember. And the Internal Revenue Code also requires that the value of this use be reported as additional compensation. So if someone is using it for personal use, then that would be considered a wage on top of.
Consider a fringe benefit.
Right.
It's below de minimis value.
So if I was to take a county vehicle and drive to, try to think of somewhere, drive to Lagodi for a personal use to buy a product or something, that would be a benefit that is taxable.
Correct.
Unless there's a legitimate county purpose. Okay, yep, I'll look into that and I'll report back next meeting, so Sandy, if you put that, if you wanna leave it under discussion items, I appreciate it. Surplus items, Sandy, from the Superior Court.
They have a copier. They have a copier that was replaced, the one can't be reused, so they want to declare it surplus.
What is something, what can they do with it?
Business will come to
What they,
And then the old Christmas tree. I don't know if you all been in the courthouse, but we had a candy stripe tree for about a month. No lights, no lights, nothing. We got
that's a
to,
piece of county property?
yes, it is. It's gone, but yes. So he went out and got one after Christmas sale and got a new one, so the old one's.
Okay, so we have a Christmas tree and a old copier to get rid of. One is, I think it's the commissioner's owned item, and the other one is the court item. Okay,
County property.
we will, I'll move that we declare those items surplus to be disposed of. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Grow Du Bois County 2025 Service Agreement.
They just forgot to include it last time. It's somewhere.
So for the board's benefit, we have 2 contracts with those groups related to economic development. So last time, oh, this is the hospital. So
Do you have it? I was gonna say it was
there
here.
it is. So we have an agreement for services rendered from Du Bois Strong. We signed that last month. This one is for Grow Du Bois County, which is money that we support them with to do economic development projects within Du Bois County. So does anyone have any questions or comments or concerns on this?
No.
I would just say for the record, we have a new director, at Du Bois Strong, and we're hoping for good things from him for the upcoming year. And if things don't go great, then this would be something we would, we could consider looking at the amount we spend. We invest a significant amount of money. This agreement today is for $40,000. This is in addition to the approximately $59,000 we do for Du Bois Strong directly. So, $100,000 investment each year. We want to make sure that we're getting a good return for our money. So, I just wanted to bring that up.
Is that who the new director is?
Colton Pippinger. So he was in here at the end of one of our meetings in December and introduced himself. So I'll move that we approve signing the services agreement for $40,000. Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Is there 2 of them? There might be 2 of them. Yeah, there's 2 of them. Usually they send me one.
Well, that's what I was asking.
What's the question?
In the next department head meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
It's next Wednesday.
Yes, just wanted to make sure.
It was scheduled to be this morning at 8, but.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure it was covered. I couldn't remember who was the next.
Let's go ahead and do our 9:15 agenda item. Mr. Werner's here from the Health Department. Good morning.
Morning, Sean Warner, DuBois County Health Department. Just had 4 quick items here. If you remember, last time I was here, you guys signed the interlocal agreement with Vanderbilt County for the pre-3 program. That afternoon when I got back, they had sent me an email, said that they forgot to include the 2025 wages, so they pay scales were a little bit off, so they sent me an updated one. So today I'm asking for you just to sign that. You can, everything's the same except the chart where they charge us per hourly rate for their salaries. So they forgot to put 2025 in there.
Are you still comfortable with the wages as they're set then?
Yes. And then I brought 2 copies because you signed both of them saying you can send one to them so they can get their in signed back to us.
Send one over before I sign, just if you want to look at it. How much additional were the hourly ranges? I remember looking at it the first time.
I mean, some of them actually went, the range broadened, so the lower end actually went down some, then the upper end went up a little bit. It wasn't a whole lot.
Like 5% or less, right?
I didn't actually calculate it, and I don't have a copy of the other one with me, so I can't answer that accurately.
I think this isn't a right document either. It has a member on here that's not a member for the Board of Commissioners of Vanderbilt County.
Really?
Yeah, Ben Shoulders has been a commissioner for about a year. I think he retired. Or he stepped off at some point and he's just not on there anymore.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so do you want me to
Isn't
take
this
it?
what they sent you?
This is what they sent me, yeah.
I mean, our side will still be accurate, but the document overall won't have signature lines by the right people. I think Justin Elpers and Cheryl Musgrave may still be on there. Cheryl may even come on.
See, that was on the last one.
Do you have the last one?
This is the last
So
one you
that
guys
one,
did.
the
That has the same people on it. And Brian Groth is auditor, he's not auditor anymore.
How about this?
He's treasurer now,
If you make a call to a person down there, and if they want us, or Mr. Schneider can maybe even advise if we should sign it or not, I don't mind signing it. We're okay with, our side is good with the terms, but we may have to resign anyway.
Are they the same signature page?
It looks like the
Yeah.
same
It's
signature
right
page
here.
as this one.
One, it looks just like our new one.
Okay, we can approve it and sign it with the understanding that they'll need to change all their authorized signatories.
Or I can go back and say that I was brought to my attention that these are not, and I can bring it back again.
These aren't your elected officials.
How about this? I think if the board's okay with it, I'll say that we agree to the terms, we'll sign it, and they can do with it what they would like to on their side. If they want us to sign a new one, we'll sign it next time. That way it gives you options.
I didn't know who their official, I assumed they had that right, so.
No. Okay, well, I'll move that we agree to sign the Department 3 Program Services Interlocal Agreement, pending Vanderbilt County changing the document if they need to for the signatories.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
All right, second topic, so last time I was here for the change order for the training education facility, I thought that was gonna be everything, but apparently Wire Electric kept their own separate invoice for additional work. So they billed me for some electrical work that they did over and above the contract. I thought they were gonna put it into everything and be done with it, but this invoice came, it's for $2,315.74. So some things came up during the project that wasn't in the scope of work again. They kept that separately because while they were there, it made more sense for them to do it rather than bringing it back and do it later. I thought they were going to put it all into the contract with Jasper Lumber, but they kept it separate. So this invoice, I need to get approval to pay this. We have money in the grant line item that we use to pay for everything else. So we do have funds to cover it. I just need approval to,
That's just an additional invoice, it's not a change order.
it's just an additional invoice. It'd be no different than if I had an outlet go out and hire them to come fix it. Just while they were there, I asked them to do this other electrical work.
Is
It's a lot.
Is this money come from the Health Indiana?
No, it comes from the COAG grant that we still have, school health.
And it's a allowable expense for the COAG grant?
Yeah, we have 200 some thousand in that building construction line item.
You confirm the work is finished?
The electrical is, the Jasper Lumber just needs to have plumbing come back and put the handicap accessible cover on the ambulance thing, and then they're done with everything.
I'll move that we approve paying the $2,315.74 from the COAG grant for wire electric additional expenses of the health department.
I'll second.
A lot of it came from when 911 moved out, they had plugins everywhere, and we really didn't know what was there, so they threw all the furniture out, and a lot of that conduit had to be cut off, moved, plugins had to be moved, that we just didn't know was in the scope of work until, they had to tear it all out.
And you can't fault a contractor for not knowing what's behind the wall or
Yeah.
underneath the carpet. Okay, I think we had a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Can you give me that amount again? 2,300.
15.74.
All right, the third one is, I think everybody or at least Tab's aware that FDA's wanted us to sign an agreement that we can share information between health departments and FDA and state. They want us to sign this agreement, basically ensuring that we follow HIPAA, we don't release anything. Like if we have a foodborne outbreak, we can kind of share different information back and forth. So this is, does everybody have a copy of this or not?
I've read it already.
Okay. So I was just asking for approval to sign that. We can enter into that agreement. I think we all sign HIPAA compliance whenever we start. The food code also has a section in there that we have to, protect trade secrets and all of that stuff. So I don't think there's going to be an issue with us following it or keeping the agreement safe.
Mr. Schneider, you have any problems with the agreement? No. I didn't have any problems with the agreement. I'd be fine with allowing Mr. Warner to sign the document for us or for the county.
I'm okay with it.
Okay, I'll move that we agree to sign the FDA agreement and allow Mr. Warner to sign on behalf of DuBois County.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and then the last is I need to request 2 additional cell phones for the 2 part-time community health workers that we are in the process of hiring. One started January 2nd. We're still looking for the second one, but that's the addition of the 3-3 program, so we can do additional home visits and bring more participants into that program. Since they go into the homes and it's sometimes a little bit of a higher risk visit, sometimes we provide those with cell phones, and a lot of times they have to use cell phones for translation, whether it be patient Creole. We don't have any speakers, so they'll have to use Propio, so they use their phones for that. So I just need 2 additional phones for those 2 new employees. We would
How
just
does
get,
that work with the county's contract?
I can enter as long as you permit,
and then we would pay.
as long as you permit.
Those are all budgeted in our funding, so it wouldn't come out of Sandy's, it would come out of ours.
No, we put it under there.
Yeah, we would pay for it.
You pay for it, but it's under our contract.
It's under her contract, but we pay for it, just like all
We
of
have
our.
a big contract, then we divide it into groups.
Yeah, we take out our expenses each month of our bill and then submit a claim for that.
That's good. And what fund does that come out of?
For those, it would come out of HFI, I'm pretty sure. 'Cause that's what those 2 positions will be paid out of.
I think that sounds reasonable to me. What's the board think? Okay, I'll move that we approve the addition of 2 cell phones for the health department for the part-time 3-3 employees to be paid for by HFI. Or similar.
As of right now, we'll probably just order the one because we have not found the second applicant yet that we hired. So I don't want to purchase something that we potentially may not find or need. If we have to change, we may have to convert it to full-time or whatever we need to try to figure out, because we're not getting too good a response from other applicants.
So we're approving two. If you need to use just one, that's fine too. So I made that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Anything else?
That's all I have, unless you have anything for me.
We have, while we're talking about cell phones, we have corded Steve off, he's taking his number with him. And we have to get him on our plan.
Do we have to sign paperwork
I don't know if he has to sign something to
Both.
port his number to us,
both ways?
or I have to, I know with Steve, it was pretty simple, I just had to release it and he
So
took
you've
off.
already got him taken care of?
He was done before, after Christmas.
Does he know that?
He should. He took the number over because he was at the Verizon when they called me.
Okay. He wasn't aware of that last week, so I'll have to make sure he knows that he's.
Well, I mean,
Steve's no tech savvy though,
Yeah, I know.
he was at the Verizon store with Linda
Okay,
and they were setting stuff up and they called me and said, you need to sign this, so I sent the thing and it was pretty quick and easy.
okay. So we'll do the same with Donnie.
It's just gonna probably be in reverse that we have to.
It's the
take
same
it.
thing we did with Tim Lynch. We did the same thing with Tim's phone. So
So we'll figure it out. I just have to make a phone call.
we'll get that done. So I need to get Steve's phone. And go from there. Okay.
Probably have to wait till next week. That's okay.
Whatever.
I got my phone, so everybody's called me, so no big deal.
Okay. Matrix Telecom Agreement. So can you give us your opinion on it?
This is the agreement that we made with them when we put in the new phone system. They manage the phones, they do all the changes to it, anytime there's warranty issues, anytime there's something wrong with it. We call them and they take care of it.
Without an additional bill?
That's our bill.
Right. So I did send an email to the board of where the bill, the cost has gone up, over the years. It hasn't gone up much over the last 1 year, so that was good. But I just wanted to share with you about how that's kind of been, and it's your opinion that it's necessary. And
Well, I don't know anything about programming these phones.
so how many phones do we have as a
Oh my
county?
gosh,
Is it 200?
they're everywhere. Probably more than that. It doesn't say it in there.
I don't think so.
I mean, every department has, we're all on the same phone system now.
200 Mitel I can cover.
That's 7
So I would have thought we even had more than that.
offices.
Well, not every employee has, just desks and departments.
Right, but I thought like at the jail, with different areas where they have phones and
Right.
extra building for extra room. But, anybody have any thoughts on it?
It's a necessity.
And I don't know about y'all, but I like that we're all on the same system. It makes life easier.
I agree.
I like the tile and extension and getting you directly, and
Exactly.
that's pretty convenient.
I feel sorry for the outside world that has to go through the automated stuff because we don't.
I agree. I have to go through the outside.
Yes.
A lot more props than there used to be.
Yes.
So what do you mean, if you call, give me an example?
If he calls the highway, he dials 5505, and then he has to dial whatever number for whoever he wants.
482-5505,
Yeah.
481.
And like,
42.
now even with the clerk's office, if I call the clerk's number like I used to always, it gives me, if I want to talk to your office, I can do an extension to them.
Right, well,
So you can't just call directly to Amy's phone?
he can't. We only have 100 DIDs, which is the 7,000 to 7,099. If you have a 7,000, like me, I have 7,001, you can dial me direct.
Mm-hmm.
If you have 7,000, 7,100 or 8,100 or 8,200, you cannot dial them direct, because we don't have those numbers. They are extensions, so you have to get into the phone system to get to them.
So do we have the right people in the first 100?
So I just call
Well,
Sandra all
it-
the time and just have her send me to her.
It was, that was when we first got our phone systems back in the day, so those first 100 were assigned to those people at that time in the courthouse. So the highway's like 8,200.
I think, yeah, me too, it's 3, 4, and 5, I think is what we are. So,
I think he's 8,201.
I guess you're the main person that I call, so I don't have any.
That's a
So,
direct.
I mean, unless people want to purchase new DIDs and all that, which I don't, you're out of my wheelhouse.
it's working really well right now, the way.
Okay, we're gonna leave that alone.
But
So yeah, if
Greg,
you do the
I'll
math,
direct and I'll
that
get
ends
you
up being
what you
about
need if you need
$8 per phone per month.
and just one of these,
Every time we go through this stuff, I think we really benefit from
you're talking more than just IT.
I
'Cause that's why
understand
the
we
phone
probably
system
still
is
have these
different.
contracts, but I feel like maybe this IT person could, kind of like Marky helps us with HR, kind of educate us on some of this stuff. I'm not educated on this phone system or our IT in general, so I wouldn't know how to even approach another company if I wanted to go out and say, you know, maybe Matrix isn't the answer. Who else would I talk to and what questions do I have? I don't know that.
You're not gonna have any downtime, it's literally on a switch and go.
And as much as we spend between our computer system and our phone system, I feel like we can make that.
And you wouldn't have that person here.
It would be nice to have some expertise on staff.
That's.
I understand that, but I think we take it back in the contract. I mean, we're 100% relying on outside companies to tell us what we need
I
and
think
they
most companies do.
can name us. Most people that's I think we should have Marky do some research and see what it would take. And at least then we'd have some numbers to. I don't know if that's a 50, 60, 70,000 a year or if it's more.
You're talking like 160.
I don't know, for just general IT.
Yeah, I don't think for a 35-hour version of that.
But the certifications they would need, I think, for what I do.
For just this document, I'll move to be approved signing the Mitel Telecom Care Agreement with Matrix for $18,500. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries, and this is effective from April 1st through 3/31 of the next year.
Take Steve's, not try it, we're usually just leave it.
No,
Steve's.
it does start.
It's just we approve it. It would expire.
Well, this proposal expires, but if you, we're approving it now, so it takes effect. It takes effect immediately. The old one expires.
I know the training on it. Because then the teams would have. You can do that. We have a new frame. We had some, people can do it. There's things like that. And I have that ability too, but you gotta get your.
All right, department head meeting's been changed to the 15th. Just put that on as a note. And it's 9:30, so it's pretty close to 9:30, so we'll talk about the 340B and the MOU with Memorial Hospital. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How have you enjoyed sitting through the commissioners meeting?
Very interesting. Realize that no matter the institution, we all have very similar issues that we address, people and technology and all those things. So thank you for having us. I'm Keith Miller. I'm the president of Deaconess's Indiana region. I'm also the chief administrative officer here at Memorial. So appreciate you getting us on the agenda today and introduce Angela Hoagland. She's our director of pharmacy. She is certainly the content expert of what we're talking about this morning, so I'll hand it over to her.
Good morning, and thank you for your time, but I will say I'm still learning as well. So we did send out the talking points, but just to give you an overview, we are caring for a high enough percentage of uninsured, underinsured, indigent patients that we are able to apply for the 340B program. And the 340B is a government program that allows manufacturer discounts on certain drugs. And the intent of the program is to be able to allow these covered entities, which is what you're called if you're approved into the program, to extend resources to those populations. So the intent of the program is to use those discounts to be able to keep service lines open. In many cases, when you're caring for these populations, your cost is not even covered. So hospitals that, many hospitals are underwater and having to close service lines and shut down services. This would allow us, if we are accepted into the program, to keep service lines open and hopefully expand our reach to those populations. So that's really the intent of the program. There are applications are only open for the 340B program the first 15 days of every quarter. So we are under a tight timeline, so I appreciate you getting us on the agenda. So we will be applying. I believe our cost report will be filed Monday. They're almost finished. So the cost report has to be filed, and it's a very long application process. But we are going to hit that target, hopefully, and apply. And then if we are accepted, that would be, our status would be effective April 1st. So the reason that we are here speaking to you, part of that application is that we need a contract or a memorandum of understanding from a city or government office that just states that DuBois County understands that we are applying for the 340B program, and that you acknowledge our commitment to serve these populations and to use this money, if we are approved for these discounts, to extend that reach. Yeah.
So can you give me one example of how this would work? If I come in, I'm unemployed, I don't have any resources, and I need a drug that's expensive.
Yep.
Right, I mean, this has to do with pharmacy only. This isn't gonna cover someone's other treatments, right?
Right.
So I need a drug that's $1,200 a month, I can't afford that. Then what? So historically, you just don't get paid, right?
Perfect example
If
is,
it's life-saving, you provide it, and the person.
so we treat all people that come in, whether it's for cancer, that includes high-end chemotherapy agents, life-saving drugs. We administer those drugs regardless of your ability to pay. What this allows us to do is to administer that drug that we paid $1,200 for, right, at the beginning of this. And then once you're gone and we have to put that drug back on our shelf, we can get that drug to restock it at, say, $700, right? And so that allows us to have more dollars freed up to continue all of our programs that we use to serve.
It's a very strict documentation process. So it is exactly what Keith explained. We will have to track the number of patients who are uninsured, underinsured, indigent, et cetera, that we use this on. And then we build up credits, if you will. So let's say we use a certain drug on 10 of those patients, then we will be able to order 10 of those drugs next time at the discounted price. So it's really a one-for-one situation.
There's about 3 different pricing schemes that pharmaceutical manufacturers use. And this is the government's arm to say, okay, for these patients, for these conditions, you have to let those 340B entities buy those drugs at this price. Otherwise, so it all depends on contracts and how you're structured, depending on what you pay for certain drugs.
So for your benefit, you'll lose less.
Right.
Right.
Yes,
Right. You're
and-
you're not profiting.
It gives us a tool to mitigate the losses that we take on certain populations that we care for.
I think,
And this is no liability MOU for the county. Nobody's on the hook for any financials or even the conditions of the program. That's all on us at the hospital.
okay, anybody on the board have any questions about that?
No. I've seen it. I have it.
Okay, I'll move that we approve the MOU between Du Bois County and a little company, Mary Hospital of Indiana, as it's been written.
A second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
How many
Thank
copies do you guys need?
Two.
We have one copy up here.
I have 2 extras here if you want to sign those 2.
I was gonna say, this says draft, I just really want that.
Yeah, mine is too.
We can use these two. You guys can keep going.
So is this a good one then? So do you have 2 there? Let's use those 2. Thank you, Gary.
Yep.
Thanks for all the changes and the flexibility with the weather.
Early with the holidays and
Yes, yes, yes. That's what it's doing. They know what we're up against.
Let's use those 2.
you guys want me to go and sign yours?
Sure.
I think I'm the signature on the other side.
Well, I'll get you that one while I'm doing this one.
So are you both living in Du Bois County, or are you in Evansville, or where are you?
My wife and I live in Hopstock. That's where we've been raising our kids. She's from Du Bois County. She's a Forest Park grad. I'm a Davies County guy. It's where my family's all still at. But I've got the hospital here in Jasper and our hospital in Princeton. It's the Indiana Region facility. So
Okay.
Not bad, Trevor.
here, there, and yonder.
Yeah, and I'm the director of pharmacy and oncology services. So I live just over the Du Bois County line in Crawford County. So my roads are still awful.
Oh, I bet.
Where we live, I'm surrounded on 3 sides by a huge amount of forest. So I'm about 6 miles from the main road.
Is your husband a veterinarian?
He is, and so is my daughter.
And your daughter is too?
Yes.
Well, it's nice meeting both of you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. All right. So just back to the temperature control, is this still accurate, Mr. Schneider, the auditor, Morton, just to make sure? So we voted today, or we didn't make any action today, we just opened the bids today. The proposals were due Monday. They're under review to see if they are legitimate.
And then
On the 21st, the council will review, or what will they do? They'll decide if they want to provide funding?
she'll discuss, yes, and then I'll have to advertise the funding for the February meeting.
So they'll just do consensus, they'll, on the 24th meeting of February, they'll approve the funding if they do.
Right.
And then the commissioners will sign the contract.
Beginning of May, I mean March.
Yes, ours says select contractor on or before March 3rd, 2025.
And when is our meeting?
21st.
Our March meeting, our first March
Oh.
meeting, is it on the 3rd or before?
That's the first
It's on
Monday.
the 3rd.
Okay. So the timelines that we discussed previously are still, if things go as they should, we'll sign on March 3rd and the work can begin thereafter.
The other date we had in the RFP was to begin the review of proposals, rank finalists, interviews if necessary, and that was to begin next Monday. So it can begin now.
Do you feel like do you have a idea of where they are? Or you still have to review them?
I haven't looked at them, no.
Okay. So as far as you know, Scott Schnell's still coming to talk about the swine barn?
I sent him an email, but I don't know if he never really responded, so.
Yes.
He was aware, yes.
So we're a little ahead of schedule here, I guess, with
Did
your.
we get through all of our stuff?
Our discussion item, yeah.
We have Tammy Humphrey here for the 9:50. Let's go ahead and move that up. Good morning.
Good morning, Tammy Hemper, DMA Director. I'm just here to have you guys sign the declaration that was put in place for the travel warning on Sunday. So I'm just here to have you sign 4 copies so that we can get that filed with our clerk and auditor's office.
So while you're here, I guess some of the discussion we've had was, and I've discussed with you privately, in the future, maybe we would do things a little differently. We did the best we could under treacherous circumstances. So maybe in the future, we could do these on 24-hour basis so that, and be more clear with how we tell the public what they need.
Right, and I think if we go to the way we do our burn ban, I talked to Greg about that yesterday, we could, just until further notification, then that way we would just, I mean, that's how we do our burn bans. It seems to work perfect. I think that if that's how we maybe do our next travel warning, hopefully we won't have another travel warning. It's a very rare occasion when we have ice though, and that's what really caused us to go into the travel warning. When we just have the snow, highway department really doesn't have to have a whole lot of extra time for that. But with the ice, it really caused havoc with the county. And I just gotta say kudos. I've received some emails from individuals in the county praising the county for what they're doing. That is always good. And how much they appreciated what the county highway did. So I did forward one. I received a few phone calls. So just so you know, make
I
sure that
appreciate
the
that.
guys.
The guys worked their tail off.
Yeah, they really did. So I know it was unfortunate we had to go under the warning, but like I said, that ice was, it was very dangerous. So it was a great move on the commissioner's behalf, I feel like, so.
And I'll tell you, when I went out, I think the community, maybe this declaration had nothing to do with it, or maybe it helped, but there was no one on the roads. I mean,
Right.
it left the roads available for official
And that's
people
what-
to be out doing their work.
That's what they said. I mean, Donnie said, hey, you're not gonna believe this, but there was nobody on the road. So thanks to everybody in the county for taking that, and being serious about it. But I honestly don't think anybody wanted to drive with that. It was terrible.
Well, I do think it helps that people closed.
Yeah, kept people home. all
Yes,
over.
yes. And, and I get, whenever we do something like this, I'll get calls from businesses and say, what's this mean? What can, and I say, well, we don't really have the authority to shut you down by any means, but we're just encouraging anybody to not get out on the roads. And if your business closes, that will help keep others at home. And that's how we handle that part of it as well, because people are a little confused. I think Matt Crane did an excellent article the other day. He called me on Sunday or Monday, and we talked about what it meant. This declaration is different than any other declaration. It's not because we've got buildings damaged in, like a tornado or any of those large disasters. This is more of a travel advisory, and it's Indiana code that we have to do a declaration by the commissioners. So that's why it's that way. It's just a little bit different, and it is very confusing to people, I think. So.
Can we move the timeline up as far as when that was put out there?
So the question, I think, is, should we have done it at 2 in the afternoon instead of 7?
Yeah, I agree with that, or at least let them know earlier. I think that if we would have maybe yesterday or Monday, I got all my days messed up, but Monday, if we would have just put a press release that said at 7 o'clock we'll lift the more, something so that everybody in the community had a better idea of what we were actually doing. Maybe just keep our communications open with the public better than what we did this time, I think.
And I think what happened was many of us were in communication with the highway, they said, due to the conditions, we're gonna let it snow first, then let the freeze get on top of it, then we'll make a determination. So the snow wasn't scheduled, or the freezing rain wasn't scheduled to stop until late afternoon.
Yeah.
Then they had to have an hour to go out and be on the road. So there was a reason that it was as late as it was.
Right.
To get people on the roads to see the conditions were terrible. An hour later, we determined to do
Yeah.
that, so.
The snow didn't cooperate with their schedule at all, so.
No, it does not.
Right, the
No.
freezing rain would have came before noon, we would have done things. before
Different,
noon.
yes. We went as quick as we could. I think we were fairly organized. I think the fact that we put it on Facebook in order, and then we made the call as soon as we could.
Right,
Right,
In
right.
our- in
The
our
people were
defense
just
there.
asking is, that decision should have been made.
right. And
Like
I
public before 7 PM.
believe I support that
I
comment.
understand what you're
Yeah.
saying, but
I just think
That
that
was what I got
communicate, we
back.
learned a lot of lessons. I think that communication is the key, and that's with any event. And this is just another example that we need to work on our communications to the public a little bit better than what we did this last event. And I think that that's an easy request, and we can get that taken care of, yeah.
hopefully we don't.
So we can still do the formal document even, maybe tweak it a little bit, make sure we get all of our dates in order and
Right.
things. And then put what this means,
Yeah,
that summary up front. This is
Right.
the formal way we do it, here's what it really means for the citizens.
right. And I hate that there were people out there that were upset over the event, but ultimately, our goal as county government was to protect the citizens of the county, and we were just doing the very best that we could do. So a lot of lessons learned, but honestly, you guys did a fabulous job. Please make sure that everybody on your staff knows that, because you just went over and beyond, honestly. So it's very much appreciated.
So they worked, you guys worked 21 hours on Monday and then another 12 yesterday?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, now we have more coming this weekend, Friday, we got it's gonna cause another headache for you guys. But I can't say enough good about your department. So,
Well organized, guys.
very much.
So we can sign those documents.
And that'll be good, then. You did.
Oh, okay, we've already got it.
Yep. And I'll file that. This will go under a file for Sunday, and I'll take it to the clerk and copy it for you as well, so.
And so I haven't looked at the forecast, what is coming on?
Well, Louisville's saying right now 2 to 4 inches, but I think we're not really gonna know until tomorrow. So right now they're saying 2 to 4. It could end up going down to 1 to 2. We just don't really know at this point, so. Kentucky's under a winter storm watch though, at least we're not. So I'm happy about that part. And this is only snow that's coming too, so that's another good thing. Yeah. Yeah. But I do appreciate everything you guys have done for me and support for our office and getting things done. I appreciate that very much.
The other thing, one thing I don't know if you paid attention, we've been talking about county vehicles out of town. While you're here, I was asking.
Yeah.
So in the handbook,
There you go.
the EMA and the sheriff's department are exempted from the rule that's in there. Is there a reason for that you know of for your office? What we're getting at is, we don't want to see vehicles in Fort Wayne for a personal vacation or a travel just for you to do it personally. The vehicles are intended to be used in DuBois County for purposes. And so I guess I'll leave it at that. Is there a reason that those two or I'll just speak for your office, that your office would be exempted from that?
And honestly, I don't know that. It was just in the policy. No, it was not a discussion with my office whenever that was put into the book, so I don't really know. I can tell you as EMA director and the truck that I drive, I don't drive that anywhere personal ever. Even if I have something personal after work, sometimes I'll just drive my personal car. It just depends. Now, in this kind of weather, I'm not going to, because I don't know what might happen. Or if we are under some kind of a disaster, I'll drive the truck at every point. But I can just tell you personally, as the director of EMA, I don't ever drive the truck anywhere personally. I do go out of town for meetings at least once a month, and we'll drive it to go to those meetings, and maybe we all go to lunch or something after that. But honestly, that is about the only time. Otherwise, now there are times when after work at 4 o'clock, I'll run into one of the local grocery stores before I go home, and that's about as far as it goes personal wise.
I don't think the board would have any problem with you doing anything within the county.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not at all.
But yeah, we're more worried about other items, you know.
I just am funny about it, and I get made fun of all the time by every county employee almost, like, why are you not driving the truck? But I just feel like there are some times when I don't need to be in the county truck for some of the things that I might be taking care of for that day, so, just so you know. That's how I handle it in EMA,
Sounds great.
and that's how I'm training my deputy director as well. So,
Ladies do a great job.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for everything.
Thank you.
Sandy, I'll lay this in your office.
4-H Council Award Swine Barn quote, Scott Schnell.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, board. How's everyone? Good. Yeah, I'm here representing 4-H Council. Normally there's half a dozen of us, but I told them, I said, I got it. I'm just walking half a block. I'll take care of it. So, I'm here in front of you this morning requesting permission to move forward with a contract with Poff Construction for the repair of the swine barn at the fairgrounds. We opened, Sandy, December 16th, correct, thank you. Yeah, so we opened them. I believe everybody's had a chance, some of the buildings and grounds people on the 4-H council, as well as Mr. Schneier, everybody's had a chance to review the contract, and I think we're ready to move forward with that.
Right, we prepared a contract on behalf of the county. We've made some adjustments to it. I do have, I think, 3 of them up there. I put on Sandy's stack. Post-it says new on it to help me.
Because he had me printed like 16 times, and finally I said, you bring them.
I volunteered to print them, but yes. So for the public record, I apologize for my technology woes. I believe that one will be in its final form there. The bid amount was $107,052, and we have a projected end date or completion date of May 31st.
May 30th or 31st, yeah.
31st.
I don't know, if I didn't have a copy of it.
And that was all put in the RFP.
Yes.
Anybody have any problems or questions or final revisions to the agreement?
Yep, all my answers,
There,
questions were answered.
one edit I did put in there that we were executing 3 copies of it, so we can do that. And then Mr. Schnell, I think, volunteered to get a contractor for sure.
Yes, I will get it, yeah, I will get it down to Poff Construction there.
Just bring an original back to Sandy, leave one with them, and then you can have one for
Records, okay,
4-H.
certainly.
I thought I signed your one in there for a second.
So there are 4 copies. They're not done.
I only need 3.
Keep one.
I put my printer in print so many times, it just, here's another one.
I understand your.
I need an IT guy at home too, Nick. I'm getting a little too old for it.
I'm gonna partner with us, people partner with us.
Get 97.3 split.
97.3.
Show that
Windows 76.
Yes, sir.
Done, done, I'm done.
Yes, she does. Sandy is on the last page. Okay, well, I'll move that we approve signing the agreement with, between DuBois County and Poff Construction for the swine barn work.
It's almost done.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Anything else, sir?
Nope, thank you very much, I appreciate everything so far, it's going well. This is, some of the guys and some of the folks don't, really understand, we decided we had to move forward with the with the swine barn and as the council, we couldn't afford it and we were gonna approach you. They were like, well, and let's just go and we'll see what we can do. And, they thought it was a meeting or two. And I said, this is a process.
You would know.
Yeah, but we're ready to rock and roll now, so.
You tell them it's Sunday today, if they want to get out
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
you,
Sunday for
can
now.
you give us a 2-sentence for the public, if anybody's watching, what is getting done?
Okay, so the west third of the swine barn, which is the steepest part of the grade down closest to the horse barn down there, the floor has started to fall down the hill, the concrete floor. So in the scope of the work, Hoff Construction's going to come in. They're going to cut off the existing posts that go from the roof down. They are going to build temporary wall to hold that roof up on the existing concrete floor. They're going to demo the west third. They're going to dig down, put a footer in, pour a concrete wall 4 foot above existing grade, and then they're going to use wet set anchors, and there's different manufacturers for those, but then they're going to reattach the posts, so there'll be a concrete wall 4 feet high above the floor elevation, which is probably what, in hindsight, what the swine barn should have been done along, in the first place. But the old wooden is just rotted away. And then they will re-pour that square yardage of floor back.
And the dirt, even if the dirt washes away, this will be deep enough, this should stabilize it.
Well, we're gonna fix the gutters and downspouts and everything on that side of the building and keep the water from, doing the damage that it did. Some of the building needed repairs, and there's some repairs that need to be done on the south side of the building. Some of the posts are rotted off as well. So those are gonna be cut out and re-laminated. So that's the scope of the work. So.
Sounds great. I believe your documents are signed and we're good to
I
go.
marked on here, you got 3 copies, who did what, report back to me, it's all marked on there.
All right. Thank you very much, folks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, the extension office rent increase, Ms. Brewer? We're a few minutes early.
I honestly didn't. I just kind of wanted to hang out, and answer any questions that you guys had. I know, I apologize, I
I
wasn't
don't
able
have an
to
updated version. I
be
just
here
have
last
it.
time. Say it again, sorry, Sandy.
The one you sent me back in December, that's all I have, I don't have anything updated.
That's all I have.
Yeah, I don't think we've changed anything, Audrey.
No, I emailed you on the
Yeah.
16th with some concerns and wanted to see if we could get those things addressed or changed.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to just speak to everybody all at once about those things. So this is the exact same MOU that we agreed to in 23. Nothing has been changed. So if those concerns are foregoing the agreement that we previously had, then we are going to have to probably present Tammy with an alternative lease agreement, because this is the lease agreement. There's nothing more than this.
Do you have it available in front of you, what the concerns were? I don't
The
recall.
concerns were, number 6, allowed SWICAC to terminate the MOU at any time, as opposed to a 60-day notice. With a 12-month agreement, why we want it to be 12 months.
Renovation.
Yeah, produce number 1, calls for a rent increase. That was one of the concerns we had there today, that the rent was going up, but it wasn't budgeted for.
Right.
And then the cost for internal space upgrades and an external upgrade, sharing that cost with the tenant. Didn't know that we should have a responsibility for any of the external upgrades unless they were at our request. And then as far as internal space, if it was something that we had agreed to, mutually agreed upon, then that would have been fine.
So far, they haven't said, hey, we're doing something outside, you need to pay for it. But the contract says they could.
Right. And it's essentially a month-to-month contract, if you want to think about it that way.
So if you're okay with going forward with it, I think the board, I don't know what the board will do, but I guess I'd be okay with moving forward with it. That puts you in a bad situation in case they would ever say, all right, it's, February 28th, we need you out.
Right.
April 1st,
Yeah.
you need to be somewhere else.
I agree. I don't like this for a long-term solution, and I think whenever we signed it in 23, it wasn't intended to be the end of the road. It was sort of a patch till we could get to a more permanent county facility.
Like
That
I
has
call it,
stalled.
it was a get us out of the basement for now
Yes,
solution.
and we are very happy to have windows and working things, for sure. Yeah, we're definitely not complaining about where we're at, but
And those things
there
are fine,
are
but still with
hindrances.
this agreement, not having any protection for 30 days,
Right.
for 30 days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna really put them out. I'm not gonna be out of an office, but they could be in 30 days.
Can we go back as far as discussion, Greg? Can we go back to them and,
We could ask again on if you understand and it's, again, 30 days, month to month. I would like more time than that, but again, as Chad said, it's not my building, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, can we discuss the rent increase? I mean.
The other two factors, again, that I don't think we should be responsible for external upgrades, even though I know they haven't done anything, and there shouldn't be any in the near future, they just redid everything. But I think those are conversation points that would be valid to make to Tammy. I don't know that you would take much exception to.
So did you, when we sent you the concerns, you sent them to Tammy and she said, Duff, this is what it is? Or how did that go?
I wanted to actually speak with you guys first and hear it myself before I went to Tammy.
Okay.
She's, every discussion I've had with her as far as building upgrades and those sorts of things, she's been very amenable. She definitely doesn't want to put us out. She pulled me in for a meeting before she even said, okay, here's the new MOU. She wanted to discuss it, make sure that, it wasn't going to put us out of business, quote to say. And I said, I think that it would be a reasonable presentation to you guys and to the county council to see if it would fit within our budget for an addendum to our rent, seeing as we're paying $1,700-ish a month at the old place, and this increases to cover a new HVAC. So our room, the HVAC completely went out. We did have to do a new HVAC, so that was an unexpected cost that caused the building to go up, basically. So that's where that came from. She spread it out over 4 or 5 years, which is why it's only 200 instead of 3,000. So she did spread it out a little bit to try and help us out as a county, so it wasn't an all upfront cost all at once.
It's just, I would hate for her to next year raise your rent again.
The rent part isn't even the part that really bothers me that much. I think it's a fair amount of rent. I'm
not
I don't like
saying
going
that,
down.
I'm saying more for budgeting purposes, because
Yes.
we do budgets in July.
Yeah, I know. When she told me that, I was just sign those.
Again, right, it's not that it's an unfair amount of rent, it just doesn't meet the.
Right. I
timeline.
wish I had known, but you can't know what you can't know.
Okay, so I guess if that's the case, I think I still stand that I'd like to see at least give you 60 days.
Okay.
And I'm okay with the rent.
I'm okay with the rent, yeah.
And, the exterior repairs that, again, probably I don't want us to be on the hook for that. So I guess if you can come back with something to tell us what she feels about that.
Sure.
Because I guess really we're out of our contract right now, right?
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
I guess, but yeah, we'll just see where they go with those. I mean, I think that's how I would feel about it.
Okay.
Let me
Anybody
ask you
anything
this, do
different?
you have any future potential place to go, you're looking at, anything?
As far as an office, we don't. There was some pretty heavy discussion about the Old National Bank, and that it could encompass a lot of county offices that aren't housed in the county building right now. I wasn't necessarily leading that discussion, but I was encouraging the discussion because I felt like it wasn't my place to necessarily lead it. I haven't heard anything in a really long time about that. 100% support it because I do think it would meet our needs. we'd be able to really mold that space to be our final destination. You know, we could stop the bouncing around.
I understand, but I didn't know if there was anything that you were seriously looking at or
No,
as far as a place to go.
we
Okay.
were also approached about potentially a collaboration with a new Jasper Wellness Center, but I haven't seen those plans since it all moved from the Armory. And if we could still be included in that, I haven't heard. Last I heard, they were just getting into the design and the actual, like, where walls going part of that.
Right.
So I guess if you guys have a direction that you would like to take again, I just sort of feel a little lost because I don't feel like it's my job to spend the county's money on those big things.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Understand.
Okay, so I guess you'll come back,
Yeah, I will send Tammy an email on those 2 points and let you know what she says for them.
okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So are we gonna keep looking for them to be in place or just kind of drop it?
If anybody wants to do the work, to do that.
We need to find your place, and, we had a little committee put together. I don't know why it lost steam.
So last time I spoke with Ryan, he was taking all of you through that building. And then I never heard what the consensus, are we moving forward to something, are we not? Is it too expensive, is it dying, you know, I guess I never heard after that what the
Were you on that
ideas were.
committee?
Yes, that
So
was
you
what,
kinda
me,
get
Mike, Daryl, Ryan,
Ryan, Meredith? I don't think Daryl, I think it was
that
Meredith.
was Meredith, not
Yeah.
Daryl, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause we met a couple of times. Yeah, I'm not sure where it needs to go. I think, it's kinda like the jail project. If bank building was the answer, we gotta talk to a lot of other departments to figure out how everything would work. And we were under the impression at the time that the bank was willing to sell to the county at a steeply discounted rate. And I think Ryan discovered that maybe that's not the case. So,
Chelsea, do you want to
Is it
come
still
back
for
to the next
sale?
meeting then?
yes,
Nobody's purchased it or anything.
it's, yeah, I think price is in the ballpark of $2.5 million.
21st.
Which, I mean, it's not an unfair price, but
We can ask Ryan.
I'd have to put you like at 10 o'clock on the 21st.
At this point.
but I think, for the extension, it would probably encompass one floor of it, or close to. There's
You're on
ranches on the top
10,
floor.
the only thing I can do.
It would require some
Is this
remodeling. I mean,
advertised
it's
times?
a
I
big
can't
project,
change
and I
those.
don't feel like,
And 9, 10.
I don't feel like I can handle that one in the sewer
The
project at
highway.
the same
It's a
time.
single amount of time.
So I don't feel comfortable pointing it. So ideally, if somebody from the council or one of you guys.
Yeah, we'll open it up for
Yeah, take me out on that one. That'd probably be ideal.
bids and then we'll
And
go
then
right
also I
after
want
that.
to get into that department, so I feel like that's, puts me in an awkward situation.
Do you want Brian to reach back out to the real estate or not at this point? I mean, because it's been a while since that was
Does
addressed.
that help?
It's been a while since what?
That's been addressed.
And we do need to find them a permanent
Let's
location.
see, well, if you come,
There was some
bids have to be
discussion
open
as
at
well
that
that
time. And these bids have to be
we
open
could
at that.
possibly approach USDA and, who else is out there, USDA,
Then
Soil and
bids
water.
open, then we'll stick you in.
to see if they would be interested. And I'm sure they have a lease out there just like they did prior. Put them all under one roof again. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to that project.
I don't I really don't.
I mean, there's a lot of things that could be discussed. I know we could possibly put commissioner chambers over there and allow the prosecutor to have this whole building. I mean, there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of moving parts that really need to be gone through.
We have discussed, child support, was it Title
Four,
Four?
yeah.
Oh, close.
Because they're leasing.
They had a short-term lease at the time.
I don't think
I'm
it's
sure they
short term
resigned.
now, is it?
No.
It's several years long.
I don't remember.
Okay.
That, Title IV would be one that could possibly move back in here with the prosecutor. I don't know if there'd be enough space for them to do that or not, but it would make sense to have them all under one roof if it was possible.
Yeah, it is a longer term lease because they did a complete remodel. I remember.
I think it's like 15 years or something.
Oh, I
like
didn't think it was that long, I thought it was
Like five, maybe five.
But it
That was
goes
3
in
to 5.
increments or
It
something.
was longer than the 3 year.
It goes in increments. Or something, I don't remember.
I said 15 years, like 5, 5, and 5, but.
Something like
renewal
that,
every
but they can
5.
renew, something like that.
But, I mean, if we had an office for them, a county office, that's when we pull in. And not renew the 5. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discussion that needs to be had to make this work.
From my perspective, being in the county-owned building would give me a little bit more
Well, because
authority almost, I'm gonna say, where I could call maintenance and have some control back, because now, I have zero control over
Well, I feel
anything
like
in our physical space.
your situation right now with your parking lot not getting cleared, your stairs not being shoveled,
Mhm.
all that is on someone else that in a county-owned building would have been taken care of.
Even when our HVAC, like our heat went out,
Yeah.
right? There were a couple days in the summer where there was no good air conditioning. We had a bunch of fans running. You know, I could have called county maintenance because it was in a county-owned building, and
Right.
we could have had a quicker solution versus not. So that's, I guess, my ploy for a county-owned building, is just giving a little bit more control back to all of us.
Makes sense.
I think it makes sense to have them in a county-owned building. I mean, ideally, we have all our offices in county-owned buildings, in my office.
Mull it over, you guys let me know what you want me to do. I'm willing to help, but I don't feel like I can lead, I guess.
On I'm still going through my regular planning things, trying to get that. It's been a 6 month process. You getting through, going through that stuff. This will be a long process. Something that gets it in the plan, makes it formalized, and gives us a direction of something to aim for.
Right.
As far as taking on this project, it's not something that I'm willing to take on. I've stepped up a little bit on the sewer project, I can continue to do that. So I'm not worried about that part of it. Like if it was a switch thing, like if you wanted to start doing this, I'd do that, I'd be fine with that, like you said. You're in an awkward situation with that department necessarily, so.
I don't know that really makes a big difference as far as this is concerned, but it's still.
Do I need to know that he lives or not?
I could reach out to Ryan or whatever.
I think ideally it'd be one of us and somebody from council, and I know Mike was also involved in it.
Just, and just bring it up that we.
I don't know what Mike's official
You can put it.
last job was, but he's good at this kind of stuff. Mike? Oh, I thought he was.
It's
Address it again,
it's
but-
quite of a monster.
Oh, it is, I definitely, yeah. But I think the first step would be to go back to Ryan and go back to and see. I mean, it doesn't hurt to address it again. And I can start there, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, it's a step.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Just mention it, let's take it in minutes.
What do we got?
EDP said they met the road use agreement.
Greg, I think this is one that I didn't read. I don't think, for some reason.
Under the agreement, they were required to give us notice of, I think, when they were going to start.
Okay.
And they had provided us that notice.
In this case, the they is EDP Renewables,
Yes.
and they are working on a solar project in DuBois County.
Correct.
They had an agreement with us regarding roads and drains,
Yes.
and you're saying that they had an obligation.
Under that road use agreement to provide us notice,
I'll just read it, if that's okay.
Yes, that'd be fine.
So one section that they agreed to was prior to commencement of construction, developer, EDP in this case, shall provide notice by first-class mail or certified mail of their intent to commence construction to all landowners adjacent to the road. And such notice shall contain the address and contact information of the transportation coordinator and the website address containing road construction updates. Please let me know. Okay. So they've
They've done that. I thought it'd be beneficial again that we have it in our record too, to make sure that if somebody's dodging their mail or whatever the case may be.
So we're just making people aware that they are moving forward with this. So did they give us any document other than an email? Or does this email have the document?
I don't remember if there was an attachment to it. I think they were letting us know that they provided that notice to those landowners.
Okay.
I don't think there was an attachment.
There's not an attachment. They're just saying that they are meeting that they've already met their obligations. They've sent mail to all these people.
Correct.
Okay. So if you're a landowner that's affected by the EDP Duff Solar Project, then you should have gotten a piece of mail by now. If you haven't, then you can reach out to the EDP folks. And we'll just put that in the record. Is that correct? Is that all we need to do on that?
Yeah, that was all.
Okay. Mr. Schneider, do you have anything else for the board's attention today?
No, I do not.
Auditor?
Your board meetings will be the first and third Monday. With the exception of holidays, then it'll go to the next day.
Yes. That sounds good to the board? Same way we've done it?
Yeah.
So if the holiday is Monday, we'll do it Tuesday.
I'll forget every holiday.
You'll show up. Have you showed up before?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And anything else from highway? No public comments? Anything from the other commissioners?
Nothing.
Okay, we'll close the meeting.
Here we go, nice.